welcome back to my channel. If you've never seen my face before, hello, my name is Megan. I make silly little videos on the internet. And last Tuesday, January 16th, was a very special day. It was my birthday, and I turned 23, which, okay, it's not like a big milestone, not like 20, 21, 30, it's just 23. And I don't know why, but 23 is such a weird number for me. Maybe it's because this is like the first time I'm having a birthday where I'm not going back to school, so it's like I'm officially in the adult world, and I'm like officially an adult. I mean, I know I've been an adult since I turned 18 basically, but like, you know, I've always been in school. I've always had something that made me feel younger. And now I turned 23 and I'm like, okay. But anyway, here we are. And I actually came up with this video idea like 2 days ago, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it, but I'm like, you know what? Why not? So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys 10 things that I learned when I was 22. I tried to come up with like 22 things that I had learned when I was 22, but I'm like, I could barely come up with 2. So 10 was a stretch. We got there somehow, but that's as far as we're gonna get. These are some things I learned at college, after college, just like everyday things. So let's get into it. The first thing that I wrote down is change and time are inevitable. And that is so true. Because like when you're younger and everyone's talking about college, you know, it's this like little fantasy in your mind that you think is just never gonna happen. And the next thing you know, you're waking up and it's your high school graduation and you're like, oh, I gotta go to college now. And then you're in college, and then all of a sudden you're waking up at 6 a.m. to do your makeup and your hair, and you're graduating and you're like, wow, what just happened? And yes, I did wake up at 6 a.m. to do my hair, my makeup, and it rained, and it was really muggy out, and my curls deflated, and it was really sad. Even like when you're younger, like the age 12 seems so distant to someone who's like 5. Even the age like 18 or 21 is like, it just seems so distant, but it's coming, it's creeping up on you. And that's so scary to think about. Like most people have grown up in their hometown their whole life, and then all of a sudden, if they go to a college out of state, they're basically, you know, packing up everything, and you have to go to a whole new dorm and meet all new people and take all new classes, and that is so scary. Like graduation, the graduation from college was always a huge thing that I was like, oh, we have time. Yeah, 4 years flew by in like 2 days, partially due to COVID, so thanks a lot COVID for like ruining my entire college experience. But it was something we all had to do, and it's something I had to do, and I did it, I got through it, and now it's just like, now what? The next thing I wrote down is there's never going to be a right time for anything, you just have to go for it. And this is something that kind of dawned on me like a month ago. Basically, this job reached out to me and they're like, hey, we'd love to schedule you for an interview, like get to know you. When are you free? And I was like, okay, yay, like the job wants me, which is great. It's what every post-grad person wants to hear. And I had applied for like so many positions. I like looked up like which one this was. And it's about 5 hours from my house, which is like kind of terrifying, but it is a job that I would really love to do, and it is something in my field. And I kept asking myself, I was like, am I ready for this? Am I qualified? Like, what if this happens? What if this goes wrong? Like, I'm just not ready for all of this. But then I started asking myself, like, when am I gonna be ready? Why don't I feel ready? Is it just because I'm scared? Because I've never done something like this before? Because everything's changing? And like, change is scary. We've already talked about that. Change is terrifying. And that's when I came to the conclusion that I'm never going to be 110% ready mentally. You just gotta jump, start running, rip the band-aid off, and something great could come out of it. But you're never gonna know if you don't start. Jumping ahead a little bit, but this kind of like goes off of what I was just talking about. I am qualified for the career that I want. And I know I'm not the only one who just graduated from college and is applying for a bunch of jobs and has gotten a bunch of rejection emails saying, we've decided to go with someone else, we're going with someone who's more qualified or who has more experience. And like, let's be honest, that is so frustrating. Because it's like, we went to college, we gained the experience, we learned the things that we were supposed to learn. It's like, what else do we need to do? And like, I had 2 internships in the past. I made a whole portfolio with the work from my classes, the work from my internships, and I've sent them to so many companies feeling so confident and so proud of myself. And then, you know, a week later I get an email and it's like, "Hi Megan, sorry, we've decided to go with someone else." But I'm not letting that stop me. I'm not letting that discourage me. I'm still applying for a bunch of jobs in my field because I know that I did everything I was supposed to do. I know I gained the experience for the career that I want. I gained the knowledge. I did the time at college. And I'm ready. Next thing is, don't be afraid to stand up for yourself if someone is perceiving you wrong. And I don't mean if someone's like, you know, talking behind your back and they're just like a bad person. Don't get involved with that. I'm talking about if like you're with a friend and your friend is talking about you to someone else in front of you and they're saying something to that person that you don't necessarily feel is like true about you, or you don't want the other person to see you that way. Like if me and my friends are hanging out and then one of my friends is like, "Oh, Megan hates ducks." And I know I don't hate ducks, like maybe because like the one time that me and that friend hung out, a duck scared me. And I'm like, no, I don't hate ducks. That is okay, because if someone is saying something about you that you don't necessarily agree with and you're like friends with this person, like speak up and tell them like, no, you know yourself better than anybody. So if someone is saying something about you that you don't agree with, speak up, bestie. That kind of segues into our next thing, is people talk, but don't let that get in your way. And this is when I'm talking about the people who like to spread rumors behind your back. Because why would you want to be friends with them? It is so easy for people to just take something you've done or something you've said, or even just nothing at all, and paint you as the worst person on the face of the planet. And it is so easy for lies like that to be spread around. But the fact of the matter is, how many of the people who are being told these rumors don't know you? I mean, yeah, it sucks that like basically someone's first impression of you would be the terrible thing that someone else said about you. But if someone is automatically going to believe the first terrible thing that they hear about you without like meeting you first, then like they probably never would have been a good friend in the first place. But you should not let horrible lies and horrible rumors get in your way and basically stop you from doing the things you love and hanging out with amazing people and trying to make friends with people who will love you for who you are, because those are the people who actually know you. Next thing I wrote is, it's okay to be unproductive or lazy. So about like a month ago, I was having like the worst week of my life. I couldn't sleep. I was getting maybe 2 hours of sleep a night. I literally don't know why. My mind was like in a million different places and I just could not sleep. I was exhausted. I was tired. So finally I got some medicine that would help me sleep. I took it and the next morning I felt very groggly, very like disoriented. I slept great, but I'm like, I just feel so lazy, and after not sleeping for 5 days, I'm gonna take a little lazy day. And there is nothing wrong with that. I slept till like 11 o'clock. I laid on the couch until like 2 p.m. watching Gilmore Girls. I had like 2 cups of tea. I watched another movie. I read some of my book. I took a shower. I never felt more unproductive in my life, and considering I'm always running around doing something, it was so weird. But also like I really just, I needed a day to just do nothing. Our bodies and our minds need to rest and able to be the best that they can be for other days when we're not being unproductive and lazy. So make sure you give your body and your mind the rest that it needs. So make sure you give your body and your mind the rest that it needs so it can be great. It's okay if life doesn't start right after college. Now, I don't know what I expected out of post-grad life, but I don't think it was this. I feel like waiting is always the hardest. Like I knew like when I graduated I wasn't gonna have a job right after college, but I don't know if I feel like I'm waiting longer than I anticipated. But what I mean by that is you do not have to just be like waiting around for a job. What I mean by that is like life doesn't have to just pause and stop while you're like trying to get your life together. When I graduated, I went to London, I went to France. I had never been out of the continent before, so that was such an amazing experience and it was so much fun. I played Alice in a production of Bye Bye Birdie, and I also created content for the company's Instagram and made so many new friends, so that was so much fun. And now I'm playing Rapunzel in Into the Woods at that same theater company, so I'm super excited for that. Ta-da! And also just like the idea that like college is hard. Doesn't matter what your major is, doesn't matter what your minor is, doesn't matter what you're doing. It's hard. Like you're adjusting to a whole new thing. You're changing. Your whole life is changing. And that can be like physically and mentally exhausting. And you just finished 4 years of college. Like, chill. Don't over caffeinate. Yeah. So funny story, my final semester of college, we did the musical On the Town. I played Claire de Lune, it was a lot of fun. And I forget what day it was, if it was like Q to Q, I don't know. But we came in at like 12 and then we didn't leave till like 4. So it was like semi-early, maybe it was 10. I don't know. But I woke up, had breakfast, had my tea, went to the theater. My castmate who's playing Hildy had a Celsius and I was like, I want a Celsius too. So I run back to my dorm, get a Celsius, drink that, which if you don't know, Celsiuses are like 200 milligrams of caffeine. So I had the tea and the Celsius. 3 hours later, we get out of rehearsal. We're like, let's go to Starbucks. We go to Starbucks, we get strawberry refreshers, we get our coffee. It's great. That's like another 50 milligrams of caffeine right there. So I had my tea, the Celsius, and the Starbucks within like maybe 5 hours. And I start feeling like a little lightheaded, my vision's going like a little fuzzy. My hands are shaking. I'm like, what is going on? And they're like, Megan, we opened in 2 days. You cannot die now. And like, I have been drinking caffeine pretty much my whole life, so I didn't think anything of it. And that's when I realized like how much caffeine I had actually had within those 5 hours. And I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. And I don't think I drank any water throughout that. I think it was literally just caffeine, caffeine, caffeine. So watch your caffeine intake. Be mindful of how much caffeine you're putting in your body. Remember to drink water. And yeah, this is something I'm still learning. It's also not on the list, so I guess now this is 11 things I learned when I was 22. Don't stress over things you can't control. I am like a huge overthinker. I know so many people are, but really, 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 really try not to stress over things you can't control, because more than half the time, things are probably just gonna end up great anyway. Back when I did On the Town, I was so nervous about I don't know what. Like I would literally be just laying in bed at like 2 in the morning. I couldn't sleep because I would be thinking about things like, okay, in this one scene, I'm holding XYZ, but then I have to drop X, so then am I holding YZ, and then how do I pick up X and then put Z and Y in it, and then I take out F, and then all this. And then I would wake up at like 5 in the morning, and instead of going back to bed, my mind would immediately turn on and be like, hey, let's think about like how we're gonna get from this side of the stage to this side of the stage and do this. And you know what happened? The show was great. Everything I was thinking of didn't matter because it worked out. Do what makes you happy, even if it seems stupid or pointless to others. Everyone has like different interests and like hobbies and like shows we like to watch, or scents that make us happy, or meals that make us happy. If something makes you happy and you like really, really love it, just do it. Don't be afraid if like people are gonna judge you. Like literally just do it. If watching a certain cartoon makes you really, really happy, then you should watch that cartoon. If some people are like, oh, that cartoon's childish, like they don't have to watch it. If you really enjoy watching that cartoon, then you should watch that cartoon if it makes you happy on the gloomiest day, and that's the one thing that's gonna brighten your day. Do it. Even if it's just something like highlighting a book, reading a book, formatting your Notion, adding cute colors and emojis to your canvas. If something is like so little and like to other people it may seem like really stupid and pointless, but to you it makes you happy and just brings you peace, do it. Because like I said, college is stressful, life is stressful. If you can do something that's gonna make your life less stressful and just bring you peace, even just for like a little bit, just do it. And the last thing on my list of things that I learned when I was 22 is if you want to do something that you see online that looks like a lot of fun, you should do it. Back during the fall, there were a lot of like girls' night little things and like painting pumpkins, watching spooky movies, and I like really wanted to do that, but I was just still in the kind of like mindset like, oh, I'm looking for a job and like my life is on pause right now, like that kind of vibe. But I'm like, you know what, I don't have the best relationship with fall. Fall is not one of my top seasons. So I'm like, you know what, maybe if I do something with my friends to make fall a little more enjoyable, then maybe I'll learn to like fall. So I reached out to my friends and I was like, do you guys want to paint some pumpkins and like pick some pumpkins and go to a corn maze and like watch a spooky movie? And they're like, yes. So that's what we did. We literally went to this little farm and they had this cute pumpkin patch. There were pumpkins everywhere. There was a pink tractor. I thought that was so cute. Then we picked pumpkins, we came home, we painted them, we watched a spooky movie, and it was just all around like really fun. So if you see something online and you're like, that looks like fun, I want to do that, don't just let that be an idea. Don't let that be a dream. Make it a reality. Well, there you guys go. Those are my 11 things that I learned when I was 22 years old. 23 is kind of like starting out a bit rough. It's a bit of a rocky start, but then again, I feel like all of 2024 is off to a rocky start. But hopefully great things will happen in the future. Manifesting, good things are coming our way. If you guys like this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!